The Thursday night showing for the Marvels was a complete disaster for Disney. Reportedly, the film only made $6.5 million on that opening night, which makes it the worst opening for any movie within the MCU, but things are also shaping up to be much worse than that. According to Deadline, the Marvels head into lowest opening ever for Disney MCU at $47 million to $55 million, despite Star's last-minute promotion post-actor strike Friday box office update. And to put that into a little perspective, The Incredible Hulk made $55 million during its opening weekend, and that came out in way, and this is without adjusting for inflation. All the while, this is said to be the fourth most expensive MCU movie to date, just behind Infinity War, Endgame, and Age of Ultron. When you get the reported production costs, which is usually underreported from Disney, and factor in the marketing, distribution, the theater's cut of the box office proceeds, you get that this movie needs to make somewhere in the area of $700 to $800 million at a minimum in order for Disney to break even. And right now it's on pace to do worse than 2008's Incredible Hulk. So just out of curiosity, what did that movie actually make at the global box office? Well, I got Box Office Mojo pulled up right here, and during its entire theatrical run, it made just under $265 million on a $150 million budget. But let's assume that the Marvels, even though it has a slower weekend than this, let's just say like it actually does better than the Incredible Hulk and makes, like, let's say $300 million at the global box office, which would actually still put it ahead of what The Flash was able to do at the global box office, which means you can have big budget movies like this completely tank. But let's assume that the Marvels actually does better than this and makes $300 million at the global box office. That means on a conservative estimate, it still stands to lose $300 million globally. And despite all this, you're still going to get a lot of people coming out of the woodwork that try to defend this movie. I mean, like, look at these scores on Rotten Tomato. I mean, then you can go over to IMDb and see more of a breakdown of how people are rating this. And yeah, I mean, honestly, tell me, these are all legitimate reviews. They're not being review bombed in the positive direction. Okay, I admit there's review bombing in the negative direction too, but I mean, you don't see bell curves that go up and down like this. People are trying to positive review bombing this because they want to simp for Disney, and it's just kind of sad. You know, if you like the movie, you're free to like the movie. You can go watch it a dozen times if you want. I'm not going to stop you or anything, but don't feel like you actually have to defend Disney's honor or anything like that, because they don't care about you. And also, don't say that they're going to be making money off of this movie by selling its streaming rights, because we already established at their earnings call that they're not making money on their streaming service. In fact, Bob Iger even said the company's not trying to chase bucks by licensing a lot of that material to Netflix. Sure, they'll license some of it to Netflix, but other things like Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, yeah, that stuff is staying on their Disney Plus platform, which lost nearly $400 million this last quarter, which is kind of appropriate, all things considered, because it's looking like that's how much the Marvels is actually going to lose to at the box office.